Hello, my name's Michelle Noonan from Divi Soup, and in recipe number 31 I'm going to show you how to create a random header image using the Divi gallery module. For our ingredients we're going to need the Divi theme from Elegant Themes. This is going to take you about 10 minutes to create, and for our preparation we're going to set up our header section. So just before we begin, this is what we're going to create. So we have what appears to be a header module at the top here with a CTA overlaid on top. And if I refresh the screen, then you'll see that the image changes. So on a new page or at the very top of an existing page, you want to add a section with a single column, and then you want to insert the gallery module. Just save and exit. Go into the section settings, and in the design tab you want to set your custom padding to 0 in all 4 locations, and then save and exit, and then open up your row settings. And in the design tab, you want to set make this row full width to yes, use custom gutter width to yes, and then slide your gutter down to 1. Then scroll to the bottom and set all of your custom margin and custom padding to 0. And then save and exit. So that's our prep done. Now time for the method. So the next thing we're going to do is set up our gallery. So first thing, open up your gallery module settings, and in the advanced tab, give it a CSS class of ds-random-header. Now we need to add our header images. So in the content tab, click on Update Gallery, and then from your media library either upload some new images or select the images that you want to use and click Add to Gallery. And the one thing you need to do here is tick this random order box at the top right, because that's what's going to make our images display differently each time the page is refreshed. Now you can choose any size images you want for your headers. I set mine at 1920 by 600 pixels, and I think that displays quite nicely as a header image. But as I said, you can use any size that you want, just make sure that you make all of them the same dimensions. So click Update Gallery. Then in the Content tab, you want to select Show Pagination and set it to No. Then go into the Design tab and set your layout to slider. And in the Advanced tab, scroll down past all the boxes and just make sure that your automatic animation is set to off. Then save and exit. The next thing we're going to do is create the CTA that sits on top of the header. So if you just want the image and nothing on top, then you can skip this part of the video. But if you do want the CTA, then follow along. So in the same section as our gallery, we're going to add a new row with a single column. And then we're going to add a call to action module in that row. So just save and close that for now. Open up the row settings. And in the Advanced tab, you're going to want to add a CSS class of ds-random-header-CTA. And then save and exit. Next, open up your CTA module settings. And in the Content tab, you want to add your title, your button text, and any additional text that you want to display. And then scroll down a little and add in your button URL. I'm just going to put a hash in for now. And you're probably going to want a background colour for your CTA. If your images are all different colours, then on some of them your text might not be that readable. So it's up to you. It depends on your images. You can play around with it and see what looks best. But I'm just going to set this to white and give it some transparency. And then in the design tab, you'll want to adjust your text any way that you want it to display. So I'm going to set my text colour dark, and my body text colour I'm just going to set to black for now. And then a bit further down in the sizing section, you want to set your max width to 500 pixels and your custom padding to 20 pixels in all 4 locations. And what this does is it's just going to make sure that our CTA doesn't take up most of the width of the header. So it should take up around 1/3 of the width. So we've got space either side. And then save and exit. Now it's time for our CSS. But before we add it, let's just take a look at what we're doing. So our first section of CSS here is hiding the previous and next arrows and the dot navigation. So when we switched show pagination to no in the module settings, that should actually take care of most of this, but sometimes for some reason it doesn't work, one of the little Divi gremlins. So we're just going to set it here in the CSS to display none just to be sure. The next section here sets the pointer events to none. So what that does is it prevents the gallery images opening in a light box when you click on them. Our third section here you only need if you're using the CTA over the gallery. So if you're not, you can just leave this part out. So what this is doing is positioning the row absolutely, so then we can move it up on top of our gallery. And then we're setting the display to flex so that we can vertically align our CTA content in the center. So the justify content property, you can change the center value to either flex start or flex end, and that will position your CTA content either at the top or the bottom of the header if that's where you want it. And then finally, we have a media query. So the gallery images display at full width. So they display at 100% width, no matter what the screen size, and the height will adjust accordingly to maintain the aspect ratio. In my view, on smaller screens, this doesn't look good. I think the images are too small. And also, if you're using the CTA, then your images won't be tall enough to house all of the content in your CTA. So the auto value on the width property makes our images display much larger, but it crops them. So it gives them much more of a responsive appearance. And the right 50% is moving our image to the left. So when the width auto increases the size of the image, it will do that in such a way where it's sort of anchored to the left. So if you've got anything in the right hand side or the center of the image, that will start to move outside of the viewport. So by setting right 50%, we're bringing it back towards the left, so that stays inside the viewport. So you can change that right 50%, you can increase it or decrease it, just play with it and see how it looks for you. Or if you do want your images to be 100% width on mobile as well, then just leave this media query out. But try it with it, try it without it, see which works best for you. So you're going to take all of this CSS and copy it. And ideally, you're going to paste it into your child theme style sheet. You can also paste it into the Divi theme options custom CSS box, or as I'm going to do for the purposes of this video, is put it into the page specific CSS box. Now, if we preview our page, we can see that we've got our header image with our CTA sitting over the top. Now, if I refresh the page, you'll see that the background image is changing, and it will change each time I refresh. So that's basically just pulling the images that you've set within the gallery and showing a random image each time the page is refreshed. So you've got no control over which one shows when, it just pulls a random image each time it's refreshed. And that's it. So you can grab the CSS you need for this recipe in the accompanying blog post at divisoup.com/R31. And you can also sign up for my newsletter to receive all of my latest content straight to your inbox. Thanks for watching.